So it was going to be very difficult to beat that split pusher. Riven can go in and flank a teamfight and kind of burst down one target more, and have some AoE at least. Where the Fiora does not, very single time.
As we get on to the Rift. Game 2 of this best of 5 here in Berlin at the World Championship Finals. SKT 2 games away, 2 wins away, I should say, from the Summoners Cup, hoisting it once again. It will be the only team to have those 2 wins at Worlds.
There were no huge surprises in Game 1, aside from the fact that SKT played around Cassian incredibly well. KOO Tigers wasn't really able to do anything with the minor advantages they had gained in the early game. Because remember, first game, SKT played a very defensive early game strategy, did not get any deep wards, and were vulnerable to a little bit of a KOO Tigers counter invade later into the game, where they outnumbered the number of jungle camps that SKT could take and gained a very early experience advantage. KOO does need to jump on SKT early because they were able to do it in Game 1.
And Origin last week was supposed. We're gonna have to see if KOO Tigers can show up in Game 2.
That's the thing about SKT is you can take them down in every facet, but if you haven't chipped away at their mentality, they are still very much so in the game.
Yeah, and we've been talking a lot about like what will it take for SKT to lose a game, because SKT is so fluid and reactive.
Yep.
And we got to talking, we're saying like, oh, SKT, they just do things by the book. But then the question is like, what book? What book are you doing that tells you how to play this perfect League of Legends? Because what they're able to do is
rush down and be part of this tower dive, even though he never got any assist, so he's not really been able to add any value there. But it does obviously mess a little bit with you as a player. You suddenly have to leave at level 1 to join a weird fight behind you. It can set you behind. I think that's what happened in this mid lane. It is still fairly even.
Even though I actually think it was Faker that pushed up a little bit into the turret as well, so maybe a few CS lost early by KOO. I will say though,
own top laner, the Rumble, is sitting and having to share experience with our support, so he's really far behind. It's gonna be a tough dive for Bengi.
Yeah, sub-level 6, Jarvan. Riposte will be up very shortly for Smeb, but they're going anyways.
Okay, bang. Keep pushing the lane. You might be able to get a tower. Then we will swap the lanes back. Rumble should recall from this bottom side once Tristana appears in the lane. Get him into that one-on-one against Fiora so he gets some experience. But I feel it's almost too late for Morin. He's falling almost too far behind in experience. It was very important they got that 1 kill at least. That was all they were keeping Bang for. To keep pushing in the lane, try and get the tower. He didn't get it though, because they took the kill instead.
Smeb's been doing a very nice job on Bang, getting that damage down, pushing him off the waves, not allowing it to always be at the turret. Just gets a kill. He just walked up lane and got it. Faker's still farming there, and he's not going to lose any minions as he comes back.
Wow, and a small interaction there. Wolf actually gives Gorilla a gift because the Shen ult was coming in, but Wolf interrupted him, so now they get to keep the 2v2 as well. They get the global presence from the Shen shield during their dive, and they don't lose the map pressure for it either.
Same thing as we saw in the last game against the Lulu. You push her into this tower, she stays there, she tries to farm it up, push it back, and then you roam to the other lanes. Bengi gonna find Smeb now. There's ulti on this Jarvan, so you can lock him down at least.
A lot of love from Bengi on this Smeb lane. Cataclysm down, Flame Spitter should be able to take Smeb out quite quickly.
There's Hoji, another kill though! More kills for him.
Yeah, and I think this is another time to call attention to the itemization timings.
Yep.
Last game, Bengi was at 16 minutes before he completed Sightstone. He had a Cinder Hulk, which gave him very good combat effectiveness. This time, Bengi has an early Sightstone, less combat effectiveness.
Bengi walks into the enemy jungle to place a ward when his own mid lane is back in base. Faker wasn't even nearby, so he was all alone. Gets caught out. Faker now wants to kill KOO.
Oh, what a turn.
Faker pressuring KOO here, flashes in, gets the kill
down. So they could have been able to focus him. At that point, Faker turns the kill around, gets the shutdown on KOO, knows that KOO used a lot of his summoner spells and power to get the kill.
They saw a little bit too much behind Marin to really keep wanting that. Hojin in a bad spot, and it looks like the team is going to leave him out to dry. That is not going to be good. KOO had that lead. It is being squeezed smaller and smaller by SKT's moves.
Bang and Wolf were there when KOO did not expect them to be there. So that was just catching them off guard. And
starting off these fights once they get the chance.
Yeah, typically though, because of the gold deficit, we have to see a much craftier SKT. They can't just make the brute force outnumber plays that they could last game when they had big advantages. Here they have to be very creative, make KOO overcommit, and play from behind, which is what SKT has been able to do very well in the past, but they are in a much different position than in Game 1.
And KOO really wants to have an impact right now, or keep his impact going, because he's obviously had a great start to the game. Morel Normicon, it means you can go for your magic penetration boots, so your mid-game damage is very high on the Victor. Obviously delays your late game items a little bit, but he wants to be able to win it.
Well, Gorilla was coming down like he wanted that fight.
Just gonna take mid tower instead.
Yeah, push mid.
Yeah, this is the counterplay right now. SKT may sacrifice mid lane, but if they can trade...
He is alive, but KOO is still on the chase. Marin dodging out the damage of the laser means there's not much follow-up to be had.
And this whole time, Bang is pushing the bottom tier turret. This is SKT winning all across the map.
SKT saw KOO Tiger split up and said, let's put down the Rumble ulti, let's try and lock down Fiora in the Rumble ulti. No flash for Smeb to get out of it. That's how SKT starts to fight.
And he used twice in the last fight to stay away from those vitals and give Smeb his HP back on Grand Challenge. A lot of things work against KOO Tigers in these fights.
One of the reasons Lulu has been seen as one of these really, really power picks in this meta is because she works so well against all these top lane carries. Like, oh, you want to single Nonia's
drill that'll pierce the heavens. Can Marin do it? A 4v1 situation. It looks like he will go down as all 5 members of KOO are towards the top side. That's going to mean Dragon, and they don't really have a wave to get a push on.
That was a very greedy play by Marin to be under the turret, but at the same time, SKT is going to try and make that work. With committing the 4-man dive, what will SKT get out of that? They actually defended the turret, traded his life for the Dragon, and a mid-inner.
This is one of the reasons SKT wants to play Rumble against teams who can split push against it, because on the turret he can do so much damage before he goes down. He always builds Hourglass early as well, which delays him going down. So even with it was greedy for Marin to get under that tower, it bought enough time for SKT to take 2 objectives, a tower and of course the Dragon here. So
focus in game 1. Marin definitely a huge playmaker on this Rumble. We saw him come from a screen off. Engage in one of the bottom fights. KOO's going to start. There's no vision here for SKT.
If SKT goes in, it can actually be a 5v4.
Yeah, this is too risky.
I don't think KOO knows the teleport's up. Now they do.
Marin is going to be coming in. They will not be able to turn and fight this with the damage of Baron in their favor. They just back off completely.
Here's the big window, though, because this time they forced the teleport without forcing the teleport on the other side. So that's a big win for KOO, actually. Not overcommitting to the Baron and getting the split push turret. Huge move.
The key thing for KOO Tigers was the fact that Faker recalled. He was back in base. One other member I didn't get to see who was also running from the fountain. So SKT, even though they had 5 members, they couldn't hard engage.
They're going back again. They're going back. They have the pink ward, but they do not clear the one in the back of the pit. They are trying.
Perfectly. The laser across. It's going to be going to Bengi. SKT gets Baron for a 2nd game in a row, and now they're really going to be able to work the lane.
But what's the point in just teleporting your top laner straight into the Baron pit?
Oh,
that was one kill.
Takes him down.
It's going to be the fight. This is an easy kill for Faker here. Little bit of glitter. Glitter gets everywhere, and it takes down KOO. 45 seconds on the clock. They're getting longer. Smeb may be able to pick up Dragon, but it's a consolation prize at this point.
Also, when Smeb teleports inside that pit, I think they were trying to do it a little bit undetected, but Marin was able to get an equalizer in that pit, which made it dangerous. Bengi's smite is up, so thanks for the help, Smeb.
Thank you very much, says SKT.
KOO Tigers.
It doesn't look like they want to stop either. They see Smeb is low on mana. He's not going to have any potential to fight. Gorilla not doing anything. But you can see how long it's been since they've been in each other's jungles. New wards finally being placed. Nobody had deep vision before that whole fight.
This obviously completely shuts down the split push here, but KOO Tigers simply got too greedy. They didn't want to wait any longer. They're like, let's just try and burst down the Baron, TP in here with all 5 guys, and just destroy the Baron as fast as possible.